Hey everyone, welcome back. This is going to be a shorter episode, as the point is to simply get through the remainder of the trainers on Victory Road here, and then, pass through the cave area as usual, but I am going to stop the episode before I actually hit the Elite Four. Oh crap. This is a bad type matchup here because I've got a special attacker going against a special defender. Out of curiosity, let's just see what Aura Sphere is capable of. I know it's a special attack, but I don't know. Yay, it did more than half. That's good. Sure, I don't mind keeping Raikou out then. So, it's probably not going to be an hour long necessarily unless I badly underestimate the amount of time I need, but this will be the second to last episode of going through Johto, which has proven to be a pretty fun journey. Alright, so in the Gospel of Gold that I continue to come back to because, I'm reminded of that story from having playing this game right now. Gold had gone to Cianwood City on Chuck's behalf to deliver the life-giving medicine to Amphi, who is really sick and basically on death's door at this point. A new sort of secret potion, not the same one that Jinichi had. And Gold never actually gets his fingerprints on it. It's like kept in this paper bag. But he does have his suspicions. He gets on the ferry and he's thinking to himself, alright, well, I was in Chuck's care last night, but his protection is not over me right now. Nevertheless, I don't think that the Johto League would try to jump me with all these witnesses around. Also, let's go ahead and move Raikou down. I'm gonna give Entei a little bit more time in the spotlight here. Hey, buddy. A chance to defeat me, okay. I'm feeling pretty confident right now. Maybe a little too confident, but still. How's Gengar doing? Gengar's at level 50 at this point. Alright. Maybe I need to give Kingdra a little bit more concentration here. Whatever. Oh, jeez. This is a bad matchup, I just realized. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring Raikou back out. Raikou's gonna get hit by whatever's about to come here. Maybe some physical water-type attack, but we'll do what we can. Oh, yep, waterfall. As I suspected. Yeah, one Thunderbolt should be sufficient. Poliwrath has never been very good, special defense-wise. Alright, so Gold is suspicious that the League is going to make its move on him sooner than later, and that finally does come to pass right at the end of his voyage. And even before that, he looks on the TV and he sees that he is apparently at large right now. It turned out that there was a consequence for him choosing to flee the holding cell back in Goldenrod City. Now, a bunch of rebar and concrete would have fallen on his head and crushed him if he hadn't done it, but even so, he never reported to the nearest police officer. After recovering from all the pain that Silver inflicted upon him, when he got out of the ashes, he didn't go back to Goldenrod. I mean, home was right there, so he's like, screw it, I'm going home. So, he's still a suspect. And as soon as he gets off of the vessel, there's a bunch of police officers kind of just stationed around in different places, but they're all kind of looking for him, expecting him. Do I want to keep Entei out? You know what, screw it, I'm going to keep Entei out. Let's just see what I can tank from this Sea King. How are you feeling, Entei? Okay, alright. Yeah, Entei's feeling pretty good. What did I do to Entei's stats here? Yeah, here I go again, getting distracted. Okay, so I gave him a lot for his special attack stuff, but his regular attack is just freaking awesome. So, Entei is definitely kind of the all-out fighter. He's the opposite of Suicune. So, knowing that he's gonna be arrested one way or another, Gold decides, alright, whatever, I still have a mission to complete, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And he heads to the tower, the only place where there doesn't seem to be a police officer stationed, the lighthouse. And he's kind of thinking, no officer stationed here. Are they trying to lure me over here? Like, is this a deliberate choice? Alright, I think Entei's faster, so let's see what Crunch does. Yep, okay. No problem. Okay, good. It didn't have another focus sash. He gets to the top of the tower. Jasmine's there, just like in the actual video game, standing by Amphi and, trying to keep Amphi comfortable as possible. By the way, Mr. Mime's not a fairy type in this game. That's why Crunch was able to, hurt it like a psychic. But she's like, will that medicine cure Amphi? And Gold gives the medicine, and, well, a Team Rocket agent was the one who'd actually passed it to him, unknowing to Gold, and therefore there is poison in it. Amphi starts to gurgle, and a bunch of, bubbly foam comes out of its mouth, and then a second later, Amphi's basically dead. And police officers right at that moment, the red-haired one, and then just like an average police officer, they come up the elevator and they see that Gold has just passed basically poison to this really sick Pokemon. So they've caught him in the act, as it were, and they've got the proper grounds to arrest him. Even if he hadn't escaped containment and then evaded arrest earlier, they can now get him for, possessing an illegal medicine, essentially poisoning another Pokemon to death. So Gold is royally screwed. And while Jasmine starts wailing, in grief for her newly dead Pokemon after all she did to try to help it, Ariana, who's the redheaded woman, kind of drags Gold away. And she's not taking him to the police station, she's gonna take him somewhere else, and he doesn't know yet. And it was at this point, by the way, that I kind of dropped the whole, are you really sorry for what you've done? Or Ariana gives the whole spiel that Kamen gave with, boo-hoo, there's a sick Pokemon. A sick Pokemon can't fight, it's useless, just let it go. You could see where Kamen got it from. She is a heartless Team Rocket agent. Whatever. Anyway, they don't go to the police station, they go to the currently empty gym. And in the gym is a Elite Four member that I haven't actually given a proper introduction yet, Will. The last time that Will had made his debut, he was just kind of holding his head, and I didn't even mention that earlier, but he was in real suffering because Silver the Lugia had recently gotten his power back, and Will, being a psychic, was more prone to the effects of it than pretty much anybody else in the area, so he was really having it hard. But now he's feeling a lot better, and it does help that Silver has had his power contained now, distracted by Spirit. And so he's here to try to maintain the connection, the ties between the League and Team Rocket. Raiku's getting knocked out, but Raiku's just going to be coming right back again in a little bit. Let's go ahead and let Mamoswine have a crack. Mamoswine's the lowest level in the party at the moment. Earthquake. Ba-boom. Yeah, take that, Umbreon. So Ariana's pretty suspicious of him, but she eventually agrees to have him teleport them directly to League HQ, as should have been done all along from the beginning. Only for Will, who's actually read Gold's mind, to realize that, oh, Kamen was there at that Pokemon Center in Ekrutik. Well, I can make use of this knowledge. I'm gonna put Gengar out front for a little bit here. I kind of forget what the next Pokemon are, but Gengar is a pretty good starting line for the most part. Not a whole lot of Pokemon resistant to Ghost-type attacks. Although Gengar is going to get his butt kicked pretty quickly. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see here. So he realized, oh, Ariana's son is at this Pokemon Center. I can use this as a distraction. And so as soon as he teleports inside this Pokemon Center where Gold has recently been, Ariana's like, what, Kamen? And then she lets go of Gold for just a critical second, and Will's like, whoops, yoink, and he takes Gold away all the way back to... Actually, hang on a second. Let me go ahead and switch out to... Actually, let's switch out to Kingdra here, because Flareon's going to use Flare Blitz, isn't it? Flamethrower, okay. Not even Flare Blitz. Oh no, Kingdra is burnt. My physical attack is so it's so useless now. Dang it, I can't use Waterfall. If only I had another way to use this. Oh, well... That's a pretty good berry to use, but still. It gave Kingdra a pretty good beatdown for the type disadvantage. Alright. Sorry, here I am getting distracted again. So now that he's free from Ariana's grip, Gold is like, whose side are you on, Will? And Will can see the sinking ship that is the Pokemon Elite Four for the Johto region. It's like, ever since Karen took it over, things have been steadily getting worse, and I'm thinking about switching sides, but he wants to see what Gold is made of and what Gold is capable of. And so as a test, he kind of brings Gold back to Olivine City, and they're having an impromptu funeral for Amphi because the people suspected for a while that Amphi was on his last legs, and so while they were saddened, they weren't surprised. Like, they may not have even realized yet that Amphi had been poisoned by this not medicine. But at any rate, they're having the funeral, and so Gold goes out and, in the sight of everybody, including Will, he raises Amphi from the dead from the coffin, and this time he doesn't even do the lay on hands thing that he's been doing. He just issues a command, inspired by the spirit, and immediately Amphi does like this flash that lights up everything around him, to the point that it basically destroys Will's eyes. You know what? What happens if I use Thunderbolt? Because I get the feeling this thing's gonna use Spore. Oh, wow, okay. I didn't think that Thunderbolt would do that much damage, but alright, I'll take it. How many Thunderbolts do I have left? Oh, I only have 3 left. Well, 2 left now. I think after this I'm gonna actually use an Ether. I don't usually do that, but... I pick them up. Might as well use them. Okay, out comes a Pinsir. I guess I'll just continue using Thunderbolt. Why not? So Gold revives Amphi, and everybody's astonished, and the police officer in the meanwhile is like, alright, well, I still gotta take you in. It's my lawful duty. And Gold's like, after all the things I said about Team Rocket infiltrating everything, including the police department, they are at least with Goldenrod, never really heard the ultimate outcome of that, but the earthquake that happened in Goldenrod, it hurt the Team Rocket operations too. Hang on a second, where's my ether? That's a max potion, that's a max ether. I just want regular ether. Oh, yep, there's regular ether. Yeah, let's go ahead and use one of those on Raiku's Thunderbolts. All better. But Jasmine convinces Gold to kind of go along with this police officer. And, you know, if you're listening to that story for the first time, you may think to yourself, the police are being depicted in a negative light. Like, I kind of did this in Corrupt Authority as well, where the protagonist, Kenta this time, he was constantly fighting against the police because the police, by their lawful alignment, had to fight for the bad guys. Like, the protagonist himself was one of the police before he had to run away and go rogue. But in this story thus far, the police were likewise depicted kind of badly. Let's go ahead and use Shadow Punch. I don't want to take any chances here. But now, when Gold gets into the back of the squad car, this guy actually proves to be pretty amiable. Like a good guy who's just kind of trying to do his job, and he's having his doubts. Like, am I arresting a troublemaker, or am I arresting basically a New Age prophet right here? You know, he's just trying to do his best to put Gold at his ease and tell him the most, not the most comforting stuff that he can, but like he's certainly one of the best police officers in the Johto region. He really does care about law and justice and stuff, and he still maintains some faith in the justice system. So Gold's a little skeptical, but being with this officer guy does kind of ease his nerves a bit. And the officer, instead of dealing with Gold in his own precinct, precinct, is that the word? He takes him over to the other police station in, Mahogany? Ekrutik, doggone it. Sorry, had to think for a second there, because I'm trying to, misclicking all over the place. Where's my items? Oh, there it is, right there. So distracted. Use that, heal Gengar. Alright, the episode actually shouldn't be too terribly much longer at this point. Aw, crap. I think I might have put my strength Pokemon in the PC. I might have to give strength to Mamoswine. Can't fully remember. Also, let's go ahead and use another Max Revive here. If I have to teach Strength again in a second here, then I'll just do that. Oh, yep, gotta teach Strength. Alright, fine. One more slight distraction. Strength 2... Yeah, let's go ahead and give it... Actually, I'm surprised that Gengar can learn Strength, but... when have I ever used Hex or Dark Pulse? Yeah, I guess I'll just switch out Hex. I don't really use enough type modifying items to do it one way or another. Okay. So Gold makes it back to Ekrutik, and there he encounters the person he least expected to find, Jinichi, in the holding cell. And Jinichi's like, boy, big stuff is about to go down pretty soon. I saw the Phoenix in a vision. And so Gold's like, what? And then Jinichi explains how... he was in the Elite Four's keeping, and he was in this room, and he was really isolated for quite a long time, and they made him think that he was going to be in there for an extremely long time, and they were messing with his psyche. Oop, I think there's something in this rock over here. And so he was very afraid, and there was the Abra that you see at the Pokemon Center just before the Elite Four, the one that teleports you. And the Elite Four were using that one to convince him to give up Gold, give up your friend, or else you're going to suffer huge consequences, making him afraid. And he tried to remain loyal for as long as possible, and to his credit, in the end, he didn't give Gold up. But the Phoenix spirit actually continued to interfere just a little bit more in the Johto region. One of her last contacts was letting Jinichi know that he still had his own way to be a force for good in the Johto region. There's going to be a broken man coming to you soon, and you must go with him when it's time, is her words. And so Jinichi wonders, well, who is this broken man? What the heck is this about? Now, what I failed to bring up earlier, I'm soon going to bring up. But for now, that's kind of the message that Jinichi passes along to Gold. And there's a lot of stuff I'm skipping over, like how Gold's dad kind of comes back again for this part. But earlier, when Gold had revived Amphi, and Amphi used this big flash, Will of the Elite Four, who's watching on, is the only person to actually get blinded by this flash. And his eyes remain blind until he's able to... Oh, here we go with the final rival battle. His eyes remain blind, and so he thinks that Gold is basically some sort of witch doctor at this point. And so he's eventually somehow managed to stumble his way back to finding where Gold was, after kind of recovering himself a bit. Gold's in this holding tank, but he's a psychic and he can teleport, so the walls don't actually stop him. But unbeknownst to him, Jinichi is still there, and Jinichi's feeling pretty reckless. So Jinichi actually jumps Will And Will's like, let me go, I'm just here for gold. And Junichi's like, wait a second, Will is the broken man, because he's broken both in, obviously blind eyes, but also not knowing what he means to do with himself. Also, let's see, what do I want to do about Weavile? It's going to use some physical Dark-type move. I think I'm just going to sacrifice Gengar because Gengar's already beaten down one of the enemy Pokemon. Ooh, Gengar's actually faster this time. Look at that. Not that this is going to do a whole lot of damage, but I didn't want somebody else taking this Night Slash. Let's go ahead and have Mamoswine. Actually, maybe I should have Raikou. Yeah, I'm going to have Raikou go ahead because Raikou has this Aura Sphere. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Alright, so Will eventually takes not only Gold, but also Junichi, kind of like by Gold's compelling, and Marina, who happens to be there as well, is like, you're not leaving without me, because when Gold's dad found out that he was in holding in Ecruteak, Marina, who'd managed to come back safely to Ecruteak, having been saved, she also checks in because, she's a good friend. Boy, I am really cheesing this battle. I know I'm essentially cheating with the 3 legendary beasts of the Johto region in this last part here, but I'm still gonna be put hard to it at the end. Like, this Elite Four is incredibly difficult in this game. And now, I'm no great Pokemon trainer. I'm barely adequate enough to get through here, but using these 3 beasts here, as long as I don't get complacent, I should be alright. I guess we'll see. Alright, so they arrive in Elite Four Karen's room when Will teleports the 3 of them, and Will's reason for going there was that's the only place he was sure that nobody would look for them. Karen's obviously out, doing other stuff, and eventually it's determined that she and the other Elite Four had moved on Blackthorn City. Why Blackthorn? Because that's where the real Lance was making his stand, and where Petrol the fake Lance was going to be meeting him in battle, so that they could determine once and for all which was the true champion Lance. And so, while they're distracted with that, meanwhile, Gold is on an insurgent mission, or I don't know, deep cover mission? I'm not sure what you call it, but they're deep in enemy territory behind enemy lines. And the reason they're there is not immediately clear to them. But, speaking of being in the Elite Four, here we are at last. Somehow the summary of Gospel of Gold, it's been off from the towns this whole time, but here at the end, it's finally back on track. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to have a little bit more of the soundtrack from Freedom Planet 2 playing in the background. Just as I repeated the stuff from Ori, I'm also going to be repeating the stuff from Freedom Planet one more time. And why not? That music is awesome, and it's probably better mood music than this stuff so far as taking on the toughest trainers in this game here. Or Johto, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So, as always, thank you guys for bearing with me so far. The next episode should be the last episode. I'll talk to you soon.